is Mexican background and psychology as barriers for oral production. I'm gonna give you some information about the speakers. I'm gonna start with Luisa Arellano Mendez. She is the English coordinator of the Polytechnic University of Altamira. She holds a BA in English and NA in ELT, which was granted by the University of Southampton, UK. She is also a certified teacher, ICELT and TKT, Cambridge certifications. She also works as a professor in a BA in English at the Autonomous University of Tamaulipas. She's currently studying a PhD in ELT in a distance program at the University of Southampton, UK. Her research is based on the assessment of the speaking skill. Now I'm going to present Ana Maria Ramirez Romero. Ana Maria Ramirez holds a bachelor degree in teaching English for teenagers, as well as young adults from the Normal Superior del Sur de Tamaulipas. She also has a master's degree in education majoring in school administration. She has been teaching EFL for over 16 years. Currently teaching engineering students at Universidad Politécnica de Altamira and at the University of Tamaulipas. In their bachelor's degree in English program teaching specialized classes. Her certifications include TKT, Senning and Trinity College Level C1, and is currently applying for becoming a Cambridge speaking examiner. I give you Ana Maria Ramirez Romero and Ada Luisa Arellano Mendez.
Thank you for this nice introduction. Good morning, everyone. I am Ada, and she's Anna, and we're here, very honored, to share some ideas about this topic, okay? Anna and I have been working together for more than 15 years. Besides being colleagues, we are friends, and we are always sharing our breakfast or our lunch. During these breaks, we usually speak about the students, about their needs, their expectations, our expectations also, their perceptions. The perceptions are really very, how can I say, they are sometimes reluctant to speak the language. Sometimes they say, teacher, please don't make me speak in front of the class. Yes. So we talk about these issues, and we have do some research about these other aspects of the Mexican psychology. That's why we are here, you see? So, as I have been watching these workshops, I noticed that most of you are very interested in the communicative aspect. I saw many workshops related to that. That is like a challenge, like a new challenge that most of us are having nowadays, because that is the last skill that our students achieve, the speaking skill. They don't feel comfortable when they have to speak the language. They like, no, please don't make me do that. What is the problem of this? What is behind? What is the rationale behind these barriers? Excuses are many. We have here a short list about that. Probably motivation. Maybe they don't have the environment. We are not an English-speaking country, not even as a second language. It's a foreign language for us. So we don't have that environment. Before, a long time ago, most of the people used to listen to English music, or American music, but no, it's not the case now. They want to, I don't know, banda, or I don't know what kind of music, yes, yes. One of my students said, no, teacher, how can I, don't make me listen to music in English. I like the tucanazo. So, that is excuses are made. But now Anita is going to talk about these barriers other aspects that we have found in our research. Okay?
Thank you very much, Ada. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here this morning. I'm very pleased to be here. It's first time, and I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm very motivated. I'm very happy to share these findings with you. And I think they are very, very important because, as Ada was saying, and as you know, and we have seen, and I have seen it in our other workshops, the last skill our students achieve actually is speaking. What would that be? Because of the maybe the language so different than Spanish. That's a big barrier, right there. But sometimes when we have a problem, imagine you have this issue in your life or your kids. What do? You go to the psychologist, right? And you try to find a solution, or at least you try to find the source of that problem. And what do the psychologists tell you? Tell me about your childhood, right? He goes to the past, right? Or tell me about your parents. Yeah, let's blame it on your parents, right? So, since we realized that there was this problem with our students, that they are not really eager to speak, that they are afraid, they have fear. So we are trying to look into the past, but way to the past. History, culture, Mexican culture. Do you believe that Mexican culture has to do with our Mexican personality? Of course, right? So that's why at the beginning of our presentation we have all these characters that you probably recognize. Cortez, our Miguel Hidalgo, Benito Juarez, okay, and all the Virgen de Guadalupe. All of those myths and all of those characters have influenced our Mexican personality. And that's the result. We see them as how the Mexican behaves. And behavior and culture has to do with the characteristics of Mexicans. A lot of psychologists and researchers, philosophers have tried to study the Mexican typology, the Mexican psychology, Mexican people. They try to understand us. According to past, Samuel Ramos, a philosopher, felt that to understand the Mexican culture, one had first to understand the way we think, the Mexican mind. The Mexican mind could be best understood through Adlerian psychology. They believed that Mexicans had an inferiority complex. Do you believe that's true? No. Yes? No? Okay, well, I leave that to you, you know? Mexicans were solitary, airtight, simulators, servals, and sons of the nothing. I don't know if you've read, according to Octavio Paz, with his Laberinto de la Soledad, all describing this typology of the Mexicans. And yes, Mexicans have to do with the culture, okay? The way we are is because the way we've been raised, the past, the history that we learned in elementary and secondary. They said Mexicans are very hermetic. We don't open up, okay? He says that Mexicans can be humiliated, can bend, but they won't open up what we know as rajarse. We will never do that, okay? They will never open up. They are very intimate. They will let you go into their thoughts, into their feelings. We try to cover that with a big shell, okay? So it's difficult because we have to break that to break into our students, okay? According to Sansionagi, there is something called the Masio-Sare syndrome. I don't know if you remember, okay? And according to this symptom, there is a soldier in every one of each of us. Yes or no? Okay. Yeah, that's what we were taught, right? But this Masio-Sare syndrome refers to the conquest and the beginning of our history that left us with all these traumas, the myths, the betrayal, and they are all part of our history and our mindset. Okay, according to the Matthew-Starry syndrome, we love necrophilia. We love the past. We love our dead ones, the national heroes, and we haven't built new heroes. That's the sad part. Okay, we are still longing for Benito Juárez and for Miguel Hidalgo and Cuauhtémoc, the poor thing with the feet all burned and everything. All right, so we are still longing for all these people, right? And where are our present heroes? Okay, and they were. It's in the bicentennial, the celebration of the bicentennial in Mexico. I don't know if you remember, if you heard that all of our national heroes that are dead, of course, they were carried around the Palacio de Chapultepec, okay, because we needed to honor them. And also the Secretary of Education, he said that they found this, they did this chemical treatment in their corpses to kind of preserve the corpses. What for? Who knows? Nobody knows, right? But the thing is, now, because of that chemical treatment, we will have them in good shape for more than 30 years more. Imagine that, okay? So we are lucky, because we have these corpses now in good shape, all right? And that's because that's what we do. We live for the past, okay? And that's what is like blocking us to see our future. History Channel, also in the bicentennial celebration. Well, before the History Channel, the Russians, they did a survey in 2008 to find the most celebrated or the greatest Russian. The first place was Saint Alexander Nevsky. I think he's a saint for the Orthodox Church in Russia. Okay, of course he's dead. All right, and the second place was for Stalin. He was this Soviet leader. Okay, but he's also dead. All right, and the first place, the greatest Russian, was for Mr. Vladimir Putin. Okay, yes. All right, the current prime minister, I believe, the present. So that means they feel happier and more comfortable now in the present than in the past. Okay? Now, in the History Channel, they also made this survey to find the most or the best Mexican, the greatest Mexican. Okay, they interview Mexicans all over. And who do you think was the greatest Mexican?
Benito Juárez.
Of course, Benito Juárez, okay? Because he was so poor and Indian, and then he became president of Mexico. He had to be the greatest. He deserves that place. But he's dead, all right? And he's in the past. So we need to get over it, right? Not anymore, all right? But who do you think he got the second place?
Zapata.
That was close, but no. No. Pedro Infante, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro Infante, what were you thinking? Of course. I mean, he's the Mexican by excellence, handsome, like this kind of, yes, masculine and very outgoing, a womanizer, yes, and all that. We love that portrait of Mexicans. He got our second place, of course. But what do they have in common? Benito Juárez and Pedro Infante are dead, of course. Nobody who is alive was the greatest Mexican. So as you see, we love necrophilia, okay? We love what's dead and the past. And we need to overcome that for our students, for their sake, so they can have a brighter future, okay? Okay, we have Rogelio Díaz Guerrero, who is a very famous psychologist. He decided to study the typology of Mexicans, how they think, all right? And he gave this definition of culture, the condensation of all the aspects which are part of the learning process of individuals in society, the customs which make up the traditions of each group, and the concepts held by the individuals about the what and who. Of culture, he called these historic socio-cultural premises. The premises of the Mexican are based on their sayings, on their proverbs, okay? Who is the dearest person of Mexicans? The mother, okay? For everything is the mother, la madre, okay? It's for good or for bad, the mother, all right? Yes? So, we bring the mother to everything, all right? But also, we leave women in the house. Mexican leave women in the house, right? Yes, the women are to obey, and obviously to serve the man, and to have a family, and to be passive, affectionate, and all of those good qualities of women, okay? Of course. And his school of psychology, he brought this Mexican ethno-psychology, and which is the study to find out the psychological particularities of individuals living in a certain culture, okay? We have the psychology, the philosophy, the culture, the customs, traditions. All of those things are implanted in our students. Sometimes they don't let them grow, okay? Because they are so attached to their culture that they don't grow and they don't see beyond that, okay? For example, I love celebrations, all sort of celebrations. And as an English teacher, I have an opportunity to have many celebrations. I celebrate